It's an unusual sound in a hospital, but one that's music to the ears of 39-year-old Kelly Weeks.
If you're sitting there as a patient getting chemotherapy, if you can hear someone ringing that bell, it gives you hope.
Which is exactly what Kelly needed. She was diagnosed with stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma last February after feeling a lump in her breast.
That was paralyzing fear, and I didn't really know how to handle or proceed.
She'd undergo a lumpectomy and several rounds of chemo and radiation.
Those are what made me lose my hair, what took me down to nothing.
And to keep her mind off of what was happening to her body,
it was very painful and sickening.
Kelly would read other survivor stories to give her hope. And that's where she learned about the celebration bell.
It's in a lot of cancer centers. And the quote is, ring the bell and run like hell.
I can remember when Kelly brought that up that day. And I hadn't heard of that before, but I mean, we were talking about it, you know, here on the unit. We thought, what a cool idea.
I just knew I was going to ring a bell. I knew I was going to be one of them. I wanted to ring a bell. I want a bell in my picture. I'm going to buy a bell. And then I got the bell, and it was beautiful. This was phenomenal.
Now, the idea of a celebration bell in a cancer center is nothing new, but Kelly says what they did with it is beyond anything she ever imagined.
They had it mounted. They had it mounted and on a plaque, and bigger, better than I ever imagined.
And while this bell brings her an immense amount of joy, she says she wouldn't mind never hearing it again.
For cancer to just be eliminated, that would be even better. But as long as there's cancer, I hope that that bell rings 20 times a day. For every time you hear no, another life is filled with hope.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Perfect, just like that.
And perhaps no one knows that better than Terry Shaver.
Awesome. It means a lot to be able to use that as a skill that God's given me to be able to bless somebody so much.
The idea for the Oldham Project came to Terry after her brother lost 2 of his sisters-in-law to breast cancer.
I thought, you know, I can use the skills that I have to make people feel better.
So in 2008, she created a nonprofit bearing their last name to provide portrait sessions free of charge to anyone, man, woman, or child battling a life-threatening illness.
Every session is very personalized. I talk to them a long time about things that mean something to them, things that people will remember them by.
The goal of the Oldham Project is simple. It's not just about getting a pretty picture, but about giving these patients and their families one day away from doctors, away from pain, away from cancer.
It makes people feel good about themselves in one of the most miserable times in their life.
And that's what Terry strives for. With every pose,
spin yourself around,
every photo,
good, I want you to turn your face back this way,
every session.
Perfect.
A mom knows when there's something wrong with their child. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can feel it.
And when LaShawn Thompson's son Nathan was 2 months old, she could visibly see it, a small but unusual tilt in his head.
He was so miserable. He would just cry nonstop.
As the months went on, it only got worse. Eventually, Nathan was diagnosed with torticollis, Latin for twisted neck.
It was quite stressful.
And so was the treatment plan. Physical therapy and occupational therapy both twice a week. And LaShawn didn't have a car.
The nearest bus stop is roughly a quarter mile. If I did not calculate it down to the last second, I would have missed the bus.
Forced to either miss Nathan's appointments or walk several miles to the hospital with 2 children in tow.
I was in tears. I was frustrated.
This is a huge problem.
Which is exactly why Pam McClouchich founded the Davies Project, a nonprofit providing free rides to medical appointments for children in need.
70% of the kids in our community that use the local clinics are on Medicaid. They miss 60% of their appointments.
It's not just a free ride, it's a road to better health.
The Davies Project knows that fewer missed appointments means healthier kids. And they want to make sure no child is sick just because they can't make it to the doctor.
So we're building bridges.
We're able to, not much money, be able to help a lot of children and a lot of families that need it.
Families like the Thompsons, who are overwhelmed with gratitude not only for the Davies Project, but for their happy and now healthy baby boy.